Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors, and welcome to week 3 of the Beautiful Blues collaboration. This is a collaboration between myself and Teri Lee from Sweet Papers. Teri Lee is also hosting with some of her other Facebook groups, so yeah, it's a really, really exciting one to be part of. So today, as I said, is week 3, and week 3 is all about... Sorry, I just had to get my messy board. Week 3 is all about ACTs, creating ACTs. So that's what we're going to try and do. So I'm constantly changing my setup to try and get something that works. And I'm constantly hitting my head against a brick wall. So just going to make sure that this is positioned so that I know I've got to work on this and you'll be able to see it from the camera angle. Okay, so ACTs. I never ever create ACTs. I don't know why, I just don't. For those of you who don't know, an ATC is an Artis Trading Card. I think, do you like it now with the kids? They've got loads of different cards they can buy, Pokemon cards and all sorts of things, and they exchange them to try and build up a collection. Well, I think it's the same sort of principle, is that you would create artist trading cards and trade them with other crafters. So they're absolutely perfect for swaps and that type of thing, but they're also great to keep in your stash. They're brilliant for popping into pockets and what have you. So yeah, really, really cool. So that is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to create an artist trading card. I'm going to try a couple of different thoughts with this. Now, they're typically 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So I'm going to create 2 different types. I'm going to start with a piece of card that I'm going to cut down from 2.5 to 3.5 inches. So there's my 3.5 inches, and then I want 2.5. Now that's really small, but we'll have a go, and I'll cut another one down to 2.5, because why make 1 when you can make 2? So they're my typical ATC sizes. Now what I thought was really interesting is that it's actually the same size as a standard playing card. So I'm going to do some ATCs using altered playing cards as well, I think. And that's the thought process. I have grabbed some bits and pieces of papers. That I want to use as part of these. And I'm literally, as I said, I don't make ATCs, so I'm literally going to play with what I've got, and we'll see what we come up with together. So I'm just taking off the white bits here. Okay, so I'm trying to learn to pop everything straight in the bin as well, so my desk stays relatively clear. But whether that lasts or not is anyone's guess. Now, we could make 2 of these. The only problem with doing 2 of these is that the picture's going to be that way. I don't really, not that it's, in fairness, it's not actually going to show that much because we're going to be decorating it. So let's do that. Let's do that. So the other thing I'm going to do is today I'm using some Collage medium instead of standard glues, because I've heard lots of people talking about how great they are as a glue. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them a go and see what I think. So I hope you guys are well, and as I said, we're in week 3 of the collaboration. I hope you've been following along and crafting along. I'm actually filming this before the collaboration starts, so I haven't actually seen any of the videos yet, but if you're not familiar and it's the first time for you joining or seeing anything to do with the collaboration, it is a collaboration, as I said, between myself and Teri Lee. All the information will be in the description box below. And not only that, there's a digital kit you can buy to go with it, but there's also freebies galore in the Facebook groups. So yeah, I would highly encourage you to pop over while the event's running and grab yourself some freebies. I think there's about 20 freebie digitals that are going to be coming your way. Some of them will be in my Facebook group, which is Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors, and some of them will be in Teri Lee's Facebook group, which is the Sweet Pea Papers. But as I said, she has got other groups that are taking part in the collaboration, so keep an eye out for those. Okay, so I'm just going to give those a minute to dry, and then I'm going to pull some of the paper that I want on the back. Oops, a daisy. Let me just grab a just so I can keep that damp while we're working. So yeah, I'm going to grab another one of these that I can use on. Do you know what? I'm not actually, because I want the back sides to be able. I want to be able to use them as journaling spots. So I'm going to go for something that you can write on. Let's see if I can find it in my stash over here. Okay, so I'm going to go for these for the reverse sides, so you can actually write on those. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these out. And you can stitch them, you can do whatever you want to do with them. I'll use my cutter for this, I think. Like that. Okay. They're not gluing perfectly with this stuff, so I'm just going to go around the. They're not gluing at all, actually. Well, so I'm going to go around the edges with some art glitter glue, and hopefully this will keep everything in place. It's actually glued quite well. Okay, this is probably going to be a fairly long craft with me video, because at the moment, for some reason, I cannot edit anything. Something to do with the software and my computer not wanting to play nice together. So I'm either having to not put a video up, or put it up as is. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. So I have no idea whether you're going to get the short version or the long version. So they're my bases. On the back, I'm going to cover them with this, so we've got some writing space. But I'm going to do that more towards the end because I don't want them to get gungy and yucky and goodness knows what else. I've also printed out some papers here that I'd like to use. I think. Two pieces there, yeah, I have. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm literally just going to tear off some. This is from some vintage ephemera that I've got. And I'm just going to tear off some bits to use. And I don't want them to be the same, so I'm just going to be a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to no, I like that. I'm going to stick with that. Okay, so let's get some glue. I'm having such a drama with art glitter glue at the moment. And I did read on one of the groups that it goes off, which I thought was bizarre because I didn't know that art glitter glue went off, but it's to do with cold weather apparently. So I did buy another glue bottle, which seems to be okay, but it's very, very stiff to come out. But it's really, really cold here in the UK at the moment, so that probably doesn't help. I've seen some, because I looked up some different ways of doing ATCs, and some of them people use tissue paper, and it looks brilliant. And you can use a piece of sanding paper around your edges then, if you like, just to clear all of that off. So there's loads of different ways. I've seen people do bright and bold and beautiful, and I've seen people do very simple, elegant ones. So yeah, you just do you. I do find it quite strange that they're so small. Yeah, I really find it strange, but hey ho. And then the other things I've pulled out to use with these is some of the images from the kit. I don't know whether I'm gonna get away with using these because I've printed them quite large, but I do have some other options too. So the idea for this would literally just be for me to tear bits like that. For that one, and I think So yeah, these are the kits. These are part of the kit for that I created for the collaborationists in my Etsy. If you are interested, you can pop down and have a look below. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to create the kit. I really enjoyed it. So I hope you like it. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly cut out some of these smaller pieces here and some of these words. And excuse me, I could have done all of this before coming on camera, but I'm terrible. I'm really, really bad for doing. You know, a lot of people will do one first and they'll show you what it looks like and then create a new one with you. So I kind of guess they do a lot of their learnings from that element. And I just can't. I can't wait. If I know I'm going to do something, I want to do it there and then. So I very rarely, if ever, do kind of like a tester first. And that it gets me into a lot of trouble. So I probably should get better with doing that. And that's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. I do have a Cricut. I've already bored you all with that story. But again, it's in a cupboard, so to get it, I don't have space to keep it out. So to get it out every time I want to use it for a single project is just hard work. So that's why I'm cutting all of these little bits out. I think it was Amanda from Creating with Scrimping Mummy, recently bought a scan and cut. And I think Tracy Fox has got one as well. And I am tempted, but they're quite a spend. So I would love to know if you guys, what you use for your fussy cutting, if it's not, you know, doing it manually, and what your preference is, if you use Cricuts or scan and cuts or whatever it is you use. So please feel free to drop me a comment below, because I really would like to know yeah, what you guys use. Okay, so I've got a couple of those. I am going to cut these two out as well, actually. Why not? They're there already. Why would we want to waste it? So it's actually the last day of February here. The collaboration starts on the 1st of March. But oh my goodness, it's cold. We seem to have it's beautiful and sunny, but it's really, really cold. So today is the day off work. It's been crazy, crazy busy in work at the moment, so I decided to go for a long weekend. And I'm making the most of it by popping candle on, which you can see there, and sitting in my craft area. I don't have a craft room. I have a section of the conservatory, which is where I keep all my craft stuff, and then I got kind of like we've got a bit of this conservatory split in two. So we've got another area where we keep like all the utility stuff, you know, washing machine and stuff. So all my storage, well, most of my storage is in there, and I'm in the other part with a desk and some lighting. So I love to see other people's crafting areas. Love to see when people put posts up of their craft rooms. I do get a little bit envious, but I do love to see it. So possibly something like that. Yeah. I'm not going to ink these ones, only because I haven't inked a lot in the journals that I'm working on. I'm working on 2 beautiful blues journals, and I haven't inked a lot in them. So I don't want, the papers themselves are quite grungy, so I don't really want them to be any grungier than they already are. And because there's lots of white or light colours in here, I'm not overly worried about the ends being white, if you know what I mean. Now, with placing this kind of thing, I can't see particularly well. Let me just turn my light on and see if that helps. Oh, sorry, you had a glare of light then, but it definitely helps. Yeah, with placements of things, one of my biggest issues is I spend far too much time overthinking it. And one, you never get the job finished. And 2, I think sometimes you lose the joy of it then as well. It becomes more of a stressor rather than... And I think creatively, sometimes it's good just to go with what kind of feels right, I suppose. So that's my thought process anyway. Each week in the kits, there's a number of freebies for week 1, and then there's a couple more each week for weeks 2 to 4. Yeah, there's a couple more for weeks 2 to 4, and yeah, whatever the prompt is. Sorry, I can't talk, and I'm not a typical woman. I can't talk and do it at the same time. Whatever the prompt is for that week, there will be new elements to help you create that in the freebies. So like I said, check out the Facebook groups, and all the information will be below in the video. But don't miss out on those freebies, because as I said, there's about 20 of them. And what I am going to do is cut off these corners. I'm not going to cut the corners too much, but I am going to cut them. And like I said, you can stitch around, which always looks awesome. These cards are very thick though, so I'd probably give my sewing machine a heart attack if I tried to do that. So there's those there, and then the only other thing I did think of was adding some splatters maybe, but the key to that is finding where I put my splatter stuff, and I don't know what I did with that. I've got these little jars of paint or ink, and I really don't know what I've done with them. Bear with me. Okay, so I found some paint, because I don't have... let me just take this off here a minute. I found some paint. The ink I did find, but it was black and gold, so it's not what I want. So I'm just going to take this off here and keep that safe so I don't get paint all over it. And then I'm just going to Add a little bit of paint in there. I'm going to water that down. And I'm going to get my splatter brush. I think I'm going to mix that first. I don't want it too thick because I'm not creating it to be anything other than just something to pop a couple of splatters on with. Come on. Oops. Oh, that's a bit more than I wanted, but we're okay with that. So I'm going to let those dry a sec. In fact, I'm going to take that one big splatter off because it's right over her head, which isn't the best. Okay, and I'm going to let those dry while I look at my next idea. So I'll come back to those once they're dry and done. My next thought was to use playing cards. So I thought, well, standard playing card, same size as an ATC. That could be fun. So yes, it goes through my cutter. But when I thought, I'm going to cover that, and then is it going to be even, and blah, 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 all of that business. So I think I'm going to try. I'm going to get 2 new cards, and they literally are just plain playing cards. I'm going to grab some of my papers that I wanted to use to cover them, and I'm literally going to do that. I'm going to you can tell I don't have any success with glues because I have so many glues hanging around. It's ridiculous. So let's cover. Okay. So there's one there. Just let that dry. And one there. And I'll just let that dry as well. So we've got 2 there that we're going to let dry. And I'm also going to use then this as backing paper for those, the one I showed you earlier with the graft. Okay. Let's get my other scissors because I don't mind these getting glued up. So one there. Okay, just take these corner bits off. Now I haven't thought this one through at all, so I'm thinking as I'm going, and I'm thinking, do they need to be double the card? They probably don't. I don't think they need to be double the card. So you've got lots of colour there, which is great, but on the back I do want that to be able to be used as a writing spot, even though that's not necessarily the purpose of it. So, right, I'm thinking this through now. If I want that to be the front, so I'm going to cut the holes in that, and then the back can be plain, just covered. Yeah. No. 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 Let's go with, I'm going to grab these two together here, and this one's going to be a non, would help if I opened it. Oh, one of them days. I wouldn't encourage you to do this because this is the best way to break your cutter. Literally is the best way to do that. Oh, I've got to commit to it now. Okay. Oh. I should have done one at a time, but I wanted to try and be clever and save time, and that hasn't worked out particularly well for me because I've now damaged that, but we'll have to go with it now. So note to self, don't do that again, and note to you guys, don't do that. I'll have to try and sharpen my blade up a little bit more. So I was going to do this like that. I'm still going to, I think. Yeah, I'm still going to go with that idea. Yes, and I'll just cover the multitude of sins with mistakes with my bits left over. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I've printed some of the patterns onto vellum. In the hope that it would look pretty awesome. That's yeah, that's the idea anyway. So I am going to use some sticky back tape to attach this, just because I don't have the best results with glue and vellum. It does stick, it's just it can be problematic. So I'm going to grab this like so. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this directly onto this sheet here because I can see exactly where I want it. I know you're all screaming at me to get those pokey tools, and I've got one here, but I never do things the easy way, even though it is 100 times easier. This pokey tool was from Kay at the Paper Shed, and it's fab. I love it. Okay, so you've got to be pretty quick and careful with your placement, just because once it's down, it's down. Now, I might actually, I'm being lazy by not doing the other one. I just need a colour. I think that one will go. Yeah, I'm being lazy in doing it this way, the other way I was planning. So I'm going to stretch it out a little bit longer, if you bear with me. And I'm going to do what I initially thought would be an idea to do. I love this sticky back tape, and I can't remember who sent it to me, whether it was Deb or Rose, but I love it. So, yeah, okay. If you do get any problems with it popping up, then you can just use your bone folder to kind of really seal it down before you start lifting. Again, it's just me. I'm not wanting to keep you here for hours, and I am conscious that the time is ticking away. For one video is quite a lot. Okay, so then this one here will go on here like that. Okay, then in theory, here comes the magic. So I'm going to cut this. I mean, you don't have to use playing cards because, in fact, it makes no difference whatsoever if you're hiding the whole card. If you're still going to do something like use some pastes or some gesso or whatever just to kind of mask it a little bit, then, you know, I get that. But the way I'm covering it, you won't know it was a playing card. And I'm only using them because I've got so many. My kind of rule for this year is I am allowing myself to buy new stuff, especially if I'm inspired to create a new project. But I also want to take some time to use up some of the stuff that I've got hanging around that I just never, ever, ever use. Because it's just such a waste. I'm doing a decluttering. I'm doing it slightly slower than most, but I'm doing decluttering, and I can't believe how much stuff I've got in my donations bag, because I've been pretty brutal in fairness. But anyway, let me stop talking so I can show you what these look like. So they look pretty cool. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do the back. And let's say, because I am still thinking as I'm going, I'm going to cut a piece here first. And then I'm going to cut a piece here. So I've not got too much to cause problems with. And I'm going to see if my cutter still works. I'm hoping it does. Just. I'll have to sharpen it, but this does still work. Okay, and then what I'll do is pop this on here over that, so you'll be able to see it right the way through, front and back. I'm going to use art glitter glue for this one because I want to be a little bit more, and I'm not going to go too much to the edge, just purely because I don't want it spilling out everywhere. I probably could have used the tape again. I probably should have used the tape again. So I'll just let that dry. And I will use the tape on the other one, I think, because the glue's too it's too risky with the glue seeping everywhere. Okay, so what I mean by the bone folder thing is if you just bone folder it down, you get less chance of the stickiness coming back up when you take this off. 1, 2. Great. 4. 5. And again, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pop that there. Now, because I'm using the sticky backing, I need to be a lot carefuler in placing this, because when it's down, it's down. Okay, so let's just cut the edges off this. Just cut off the edges. Come on. And what I am going to do with these is I'm going to go around the edges of the finished ones anyway. And I'm going to use some vintage photo on these. I didn't want to put too much on all the elements because I don't want to grungy them up too much. But I am going to just go around the edges here. And here. And I may just quickly go around the edges on these because these will be dried now. Oops, daisy, that's still a tiny bit wet. Okay, so it's just about decorating these now. Now I do have these two things which I really like, and I would like to try and incorporate them somehow. But they're way too big to do it like that. But I could add that on there. So you mix in the colours and then just chop the ends off because it'll give it a bit of texture. So that's one idea. Now I'm gonna just go over this because it is a shiny surface. No. Because if I do that there, it's going to show through, isn't it? Let's see. It does show through, but not too much. In fact, I could probably, if I really wanted to, put the other piece here, which again would just add a little bit of colour. Just a bit different, isn't it? You could use this as, if you'd had it poking out, you could have used it as a tab. We'll get there eventually. Okay, so I'm going to do it on that one, but not on that one. I quite like that because you can see the hearts through, but it's bringing too much red in, and I haven't got red in my my kit at all. So we won't do that. We will grab that, and we will grab that. Just to see if there's anything else I want to pop on these. Problem is I've used a lot of my ones with blue on already. Oh, that's nice, I like that. It's a bit dramatic there, sorry. Quite like that. I like the colours on those, see? Let's see what that is. 5 o'clock is cool. Excuse me. Yeah, I really like the colour match on these, so I might use some of these. So look. So we'd have something like that there. Like that. And something like this up here. Like that. And then we'll have What's that one say? I'm going to pop this one. I want that on there. I'll have that one across there. That one there. And perhaps that one. I don't think I need one up there. I'm going to pop it on, but then I'll cut off the excess. Because I don't want it covering her. So I'll pop that on like that. And I can then just trim off that excess corner. Okay, so let's pop those away. And I've got this one just to see if there's anything teeny tiny that I might want to use. And I mean teeny tiny, but something brings a bit of, perhaps better to bring a bit more of the blue in. Lots of cream. No, I do like those. Oh, that's quite cool. So we would have, that would go perhaps, nope, don't like that at all. That one would go there. Like that. And this one will go there. Like that. And if you could, if you wanted to, put some speckles, you know, ink on those if you want to, just pop something over there so it doesn't cover your picture. But I think I'm going to leave it like that, to be honest. I'm going to keep that. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that, I think. So these are my ATCs for week 3 of the collaboration. 2 very, very different styles, both same size. One's using a card, a playing card. So we've got that one there, and with the vellum picture in the middle. I don't know how much of that, sorry, table's shaking. Don't know why the table's shaking. So there's that one there. And then there's that one there. And of course you can write on the back. And then we've got that one there. And we have got that one there. So 2 different styles of ATCs for my beautiful blue journals. And yeah, I really enjoyed those. I may have a broken punch. I need to learn to be a little bit more patient. But other than that, I'm really, really pleased with how they came out. So hope you like them. Love to hear what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know about the difference between the scan and cut and the Cricut if you have any experience with any of them. So yeah, I will leave it there. I'm going to move straight on to the next project, but for you it will be a week later. So I shall speak to you then. As always, stay safe, and I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.